Hello, 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 and welcome to The Wandering Village. I'm Evie Greenbottle, and I want to share with you one of my favorite video games. Now, The Wandering Village is still in early access, but it's got to be one of the cutest games I have ever seen. It's a settlement builder, but you are on the back of a dinosaur, and his name is Onbu, and he is very, very lovable. And he gets you into some trouble, and sometimes he's a little bit naughty, but he's always adorable. So we're going to be starting a new game, and I'm really looking forward to this because in a few months there's rumors that there's going to be some brand new features in the game. We're going to get started today without the brand new features, and then hopefully we'll be able to add them in when they are released, and I am so excited for it. Now, I have played this game a few times on Twitch, and it does have Twitch integration. So if you are a streamer, it has Twitch integration, and it's really fun. But we're going to be playing on Veteran because I'm pretty good at this game, and I'm definitely an experienced player. And we are making this one for YouTube, so I'm just going to make our title YouTube so that I remember which one is the right one. Classic, right? All right, let's jump right in.
Driven from our homes by the toxic spores, we kept wandering, looking for shelter. But not in our wildest dreams did we imagine what we would find.
And we are starting back. Here are our villagers. They've got nothing to do at the moment. They're desperate for some houses, I can see. But if we scroll out, there we are on the back of our very own Onbu. Oh my goodness. And right now he's having a little sleep, but later on he's going to start to walk through this map. Here's another place for him to sleep, and he's going to find some interesting things along the way. So this one's an Onbu sleeping spot. Make sure he doesn't get poisoned. There's no poison here, because poison is your main enemy in this game. Onbu getting poisoned, and also your villagers getting poisoned, and the trees and the landscape getting infected. Right, we need to go straight into some building here, and we're going to need to build some tents to get us started, a research building so we can start to research some new technologies and all sorts of things. We need to decide where on our island then do we want to set up our main base. I'm thinking just here somewhere. Let's build a couple of tents. They only hold 2 villagers, so we're going to need a few because we do have, 16 villagers, I believe? So we'll build maybe 2 rows of these. They'll be able to get in even though there's no road in between. Now, they're not going to have enough resources for all that, so we are going to have to get them to actually just cut down some resources as well. So can we harvest some trees here? Come harvest some trees. Now, so we've got trees on the back of Onbu. We also have lots of rocks, so we're going to need those rocks. Now, these ones here, they're not rocks in the same way that these are. These are Onbu spikes, and if we harvest them, it would actually hurt our poor Onbu, so we do not want to be doing that. Right, we're going to need our homes. Look how quick they are. My goodness, they get straight to work. They're also going to need some research building so we can be studying up. Let's just put some paths. Oh, I can't put a path there. Well, that's kind of an unfortunate spot that I've chosen then, but we'll have to go around there. We'll make this a very funny-shaped village. It's fine. Funny-shaped villages are still fine. A worker post so that we know we can send people to go and do some work, and also we're going to want our research building so we can start researching technologies because I love a good tech tree, and this game does have a good tech tree. So here's things where we can research for our village in particular. So kitchen and getting food, a village doctor so we can take care of our villagers, warehouses and upgrading our houses. Also on the food side, so what can we grow to help our villagers? Can we make some bread? There's also resources, so being able to collect Onbu's dung. Yep, that's right, we're going to be digging in some poop. It's fine. We're going to use it to make biogas and fertilizer, both important things. Sawmill, quarry, so we can get some of those bigger trees and bigger rocks. Not the ones that hurt Onbu, of course, but other ones. And of course for Onbu, what can we do to help Onbu? We are going to need to feed him, so we're going to need to make him food. We are going to need a doctor. We need to take care of him. Now, there are some things that aren't very nice. I'm not going to be doing an Onbu discipliner because we're not going to discipline our Onbu. He's a bit naughty sometimes, but we have to be kind. And we're also not going to be trying to deal with Onbu laxatives or Onbu constipator. It's not very nice. It's just not very nice. So not all of these things will be actually researched, but most of them. because it does have a great tech tree, but we're going to need that first. Look how happy our villagers are. Right, if we take a look in here though, we also need some food. We've got some berry bushes here. Now we can harvest them, but then they disappear forever. If we have berry gather them, then they don't disappear forever. And the more berry bushes around, the more efficient it's going to be. And the more efficient it is, the better off we are. So let's see where it is. Now more berry bushes will grow, of course. I think that's probably a good spot. So if we just tuck it in here, we do lose... They're 45%. So we do lose one, but that's okay. So we're going to harvest that one, which is fine. That's just straight away some berries. And then more will grow. So this will get more efficient over time. And we could even harvest these trees to make room for some more berry bushes. They have lots to do. Now we're also going to need water. Now we don't use water to drink. Our people get all the water they need from their food. But an air well, we need water for planting our crops. So we're going to need a few of these. Now... this isn't going to work in the desert because it's just an air well. It's just grabbing liquid out of our air. And in the desert, obviously, that's very dry. So we can look up here. We've got our temperature and the humidity and the toxicity of the ground and the air. So currently, we're good. No ground toxicity, but also no air toxicity. Now, it's quite arid where we are, very dry. So it's not going to work very well to try and get any... water. All right, now we get to choose our first research. We can research a kitchen or the hornblower. The hornblower is going to allow us to do commands to Onbu. The kitchen will allow us to process some food. But we can also open the research queue. These are just the recommended ones. If we go in here, there's other things that we can research. Dung collector, get that started straight away. Okay, the hornblower, the kitchen, or the cactus plantation. And I think we probably will go for the kitchen just because I want to get the village doctor up and running as quickly as possible because I know that that can be a bit of a problem. So yeah, let's start researching the kitchen and we're good to go there. Right. We've got the air well being built there. We also are going to want to build a farm. Now the farms, so you can see all those dots around it. That's going to be land that we can farm. Now, if we go over here, the dots are red. This ground is not any good for growing the majority of crops. We can grow mushrooms on this ground, but not regular crops. So we're going to need a place where it's nice and green. Now, I don't want to be too far away from where we're already living. So how about we just pop it up over here? They'll have to cut down some of these trees, but we're going to need the wood anyways. And our trees do grow back. So not too worried about that. So got our first farm down there. Let's just take a look. We also are going to need a place for storage, so storing materials, storing water, and also storing food. So we'll have to pop one of those down over here, and maybe a pantry here, because that's going to be, well, put the pantry there. That's quite close to our farm, and the material storage maybe we'll stick down here. And everyone's kind of working. So these are our, oh, are they not researching? Did we not actually click it? Oh, there we go. Sorry, I unclicked it apparently. Right, go research the kitchen. Stop standing around and get back in. Get back in there. So we've got the storage sorted. We've got a bit of food on its way here. We don't have any raw resources yet. The carpenter and the stone cutter. So that's going to be making planks from the wood and slabs from stone. And we're going to need a lot of that. So we're going to need to build both of these. Might pop them just down over here for now. We might have to extend this road a bit. And here's the mycologist. So this was the mushrooms I was talking about before. These are for making Onbu food. Onbu needs to eat mushrooms. So I'll have to find a place to put it. Now, anywhere's probably quite good. Onbu eats a lot, but also not a lot at the same time. We need to make lots of food, and it takes quite a lot of mushrooms to make it. But we don't have to feed him too often. And sometimes he does find his own food. So we'll pop the mycologist over there. Now, where did I find those roads? Here we go. Let's extend this road over to there because they will walk a bit faster on the road. So it is helpful to have roads around for them to be walking on. We are going to want to get up here because we're going to be building things up over this way later on. And we're going to need to get stuff all the way back to here. So we're going to need roads that come from here all over here, but we won't worry about that yet because if they get too distracted by building this, they won't build the things we really want them to be focusing on. Now, straight away, we've got 2 workers in here. And in here, it could tell us the maximum number of workers. So we could have 3 people here gathering berries. That means we'll have less general workers. Here's our worker post. So we can fill this up, make sure everyone's got some jobs, and we can choose whether we want them just to focus on building, focus on carrying supplies, focus on harvesting, or just general workers. And we'll probably keep it on general workers for just now. Now we can also up the priority of things. So here we go. We've got the farm as the highest priority. We want to get that started straight away because we're going to need the food to be up and running ASAP. Look, see, they get distracted by the roads. They're always distracted by the roads. But that's a fairly good start here. Now, Onbu, he's still having a little sleep. And we can see here his sleepiness is at 15%. So he'll wake up when that's closer to 0. He's got a hunger meter, which is currently at 3%. And his Onbu poison level is currently at 0, which is a very good thing. We want to keep that as low as possible. I guess I'm going to keep them all as low as possible to keep him nice and healthy. Now, when he wakes up, he's going to just start walking along this path. And there's going to be choices that we're going to have to make along the way. Decisions whether we want him to go this way or down this way. And we're kind of always headed in the same general 2 directions. I guess we're just trying to travel that way. And there are lots of points of interest around here. And later on, we're going to be able to send off our villagers to go explore them. But we'll have to research that first. This is probably our last night before Onbu begins to stand up. Now, unfortunately, we started off in a very humid place, or not a really humid place. That would be the opposite. That would be really good. We started off in a very dry place, so the airwell's not actually doing anything yet. So possibly researching the kitchen was a terrible starting idea because we're not going to be able to grow any crops because the crops need water. And we didn't pick cactus to start. Now, cactus is how we get water in the desert. We grow the cactuses and we harvest water straight from them in order to grow other things, but we didn't research that to start. We had the 2 options and we picked the kitchen. I didn't really realize we started in a desert. I don't think I've ever started in a desert before. But yeah, as soon as we get out of this, we're going to be able to start getting water. But while we're in here, we're going to find it to be a bit challenging, I think. But we are playing on the hardest difficulty, of course, because this is YouTube after all. Now, everyone is just sort of working, and I think we'll just tick time on a little bit here. There we go. They're moving at double speed. Now, this game is just absolutely beautiful. I love the art. Oh, whoa, we're shaking because Onbu is waking up. Let's slow the time back. Oh, how do I slow the time back down? There we go. Onbu is now walking, so he's going to travel along this path. But there he is. He's a little 6-legged dinosaur, and he is headed off. He's awake because he's not tired anymore, and he's just going to continue traveling in a straight line until there's a decision to be made. Now, this is a spot where he's going to sleep, so if he's at all tired, he's going to sleep there. And up here, we've got a heat wave coming up, which isn't great. It's going to affect the growth of our plants. But since we're in the desert, we have no cactus. We're not actually going to be able to even grow any plants. So I feel like we're going to have quite the tricky start here. We might even want to grow a second berry bush and possibly build a second worker post. If we have 2 worker posts, then we'll be able to direct more of these people so they're not just standing around. Because right now, all we could do is get them to harvest resources, which is not a terrible idea. Like, come and get all of these. Get all the resources. Don't just stand around. There's lots of work to be done. Because we, of course, want resources stored up. There's no problem with having excess resources. Now, we might want to build a second berry spot because we're not going to be able to do any other thing to get food. Berries are going to be our sole source of food until we've got cactus or get out of the desert. So a second berry place wouldn't be bad. And we could always, if we're not using it, we could always turn it off. Let's see, that is 49% efficiency. Actually more efficient than this one. So good, we'll build that. Maybe set that as a matter of priority instead of this. This is maybe not such a priority, actually. Because I'm not going to be able to use it anyways. Not while Onbu's in the desert. Now, as I was saying, such a beautiful game. And if you are a streamer, you can integrate this with Twitch. So any new villagers you get will be named after the people talking in your stream, which is really, really fun. And also, chat is able to comment and choose which direction Onbu goes. They get to do a little vote. So the Twitch integration for this game is so much fun, and I've played it quite a few times over on my Twitch channel, and I just love this game. I love it. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Look at how beautiful it is. You can see Onbu moving in the background. Oh, it's gorgeous. It is such a beautiful game, and look at him. Look at our little Onbu just walking along. And later on, we can unlock technologies to feed him and to heal him and to give him little pats on the head. And it is the sweetest thing ever. I just love it. All right, people are working hard. They're going to gather lots of stone. Now, we do have this. It's going to be filled up pretty quickly. Once we get these, though, ticked on, we can start to build planks and slabs, and I know from experience that actually is quite difficult to keep the slabs and planks at a nice level where you can actually build them things, because as we unlock things, they're no longer going to use just pieces of wood and pieces of stone. They're going to want planks and slabs to build them. I think even the kitchen already is going to need those things when we try to build it. So we do kind of need them to build this, but they need to gather more wood. So we might have to select a few more trees for cutting down. Let's get rid of all of these ones. It's also not a terrible idea to keep things fairly trimmed and tidy, because when we get poison infections later on, they spread really quickly, especially when you have all these like dense trees together. If we had a poison spore that came down here later on, it would spread to all of these trees quite quickly. So thinning them out a bit is a good idea, and staying kind of on top of that. But also, we just need to have the resources. You know, we need the wood. It's going to be really crucial, and more will grow. You've got these kind of orange ones, and they're called mother trees, and mother trees produce offspring. So this one's not quite ready yet. He's still growing, but once it's fully grown, I guess maybe it's the mother tree, so maybe it's a she. Once she's fully grown, I don't know why my trees even need a gender, but there you go. Once she's fully grown, she'll make some offspring, and that'll be just more trees that continue to populate our land. Like, there we go. Look at that little guy. Oh, he's still growing. But our villagers are very busy. They've got lots of things to be working on while Onbu continues his journey. And you can see he's coming up here to this sleeping spot, but he's not going to be able to, well, he's not going to want to sleep. It's very unlikely, I think, that he'll lay down here. It's very comfortable for him. And there's no poison here. There's very little poison ever in the desert, though. It's kind of a nice break from the poisonous landscape of other places. But I don't think he'll sleep here because he's not that tired. Now, when we get to this heat wave, there's nothing we're going to be able to do. It's going to just make our crops grow slower, but of course we don't have any crops. Look at this. Some nomads, a group of nomads looking for a new home. So they will join us. When we get to them, we can choose yes or no whether we want them to join them. Now, sometimes they can join us and be sick, and that's not great. But sometimes when they join us, they're just fine, healthy, happy, hungry, but healthy and happy. So we don't have an Onbu, or we don't have a village doctor yet. So if they are sick, we're not going to be able to help them. But we can research that now. However, I mean, we really do want to research that as quick as possible. But because we're in the desert, and I don't know how long we're going to be in the desert, we actually need to research this so we can get some water. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to grow anything. So, cactus plantation, get that going. It might not be a terrible idea to even build a second research hut so that researching can tick on even quicker. I might just build that, put it behind here. So we'll have a row of research buildings here and a row of worker huts over here. And if they can get that built, then we can have double the researchers for now. Now, of course, eventually we're not going to have enough workers to cover all the jobs we want them to have. Even if they built all of these things here, we wouldn't have enough workers. So you can always disable the buildings and it kicks the workers out. So now those two need to go find a new job. And we can enable it and they'll go back to work. Or 2 new villagers will go back to work potentially. And they'll continue to research. We can do that with any building, so we can always disable them. We can also change how many workers we want there, so we can fire them or hire them. And there's some buildings, like this one doesn't actually need workers. It just kind of works by itself, which is good. All right. Oh, here we go. Onbu is in his sleeping spot, but I think he'll probably... It says, the place is unaffected by poison. Looks comfortable for Onbu to sleep in, but I don't think he will. I think he'll just carry on because he is not tired. He only just woke up. It's got 19% sleepiness, which is not that sleepy. All right, another berry hut here. So 2 people I think can work there. And I think it'd be quite good to keep other workers kind of just out and about. Actually, let's put this one as a 2. And then this one's got more efficiency. This one's 49, that one's only 45. We'll put the 3rd worker over here. There's more berry bushes to be collected on this side. Here they go with the farm, which is good because once this farm's built, we can start growing cactus over here. There we go. Oh, well, not yet. Once the cactus is researched, of course. So we're going to disable this because there's nothing currently we're going to be able to grow because we don't have any water. Well, we've got 100 water that we started with, but it's not a ton. And I think we'll just hold on to... Well, you know what? No. Let's try it. Let's grow some beets here. Let's enable that up again. Now, to grow some plots, we just need to add the plots where we want to grow it and typically go just kind of as big as we can. And they'll start growing beets here. They're going to plant and harvest the beets. Now, the beets are not going to be in their best growing zone because it's too hot here. It's far too hot for them. And there's nothing else currently that we can even grow. Once we have the cactus research, then that will be another thing we could grow. And we might even want a second farm at some point so that we can grow just one for cactus and one for the berries, or not berries, rather the beets. So I might stick this one down here, and then this one can be all for cactus, and that one can just be for the food, or vice versa, it doesn't matter. All right, everybody's hard at work, but they're getting enough food. We've got 42 berries at the moment, which is definitely good. We haven't even built this yet, the pantry. But there's lots of things that we are asking them to build, and they are working over here on the stonecutter and carpenter, which is great. Could also probably get them to gather all of these rocks. More rocks will randomly fall off of Onbu, I guess, and we'll be able to get them later. There's even some mushrooms down here, which we could start collecting. I think I saw more mushrooms. Yes, over here. Collect those as well. And we do have it so it's only going to be harvesting fully grown things. We don't want it to be harvesting things that are not ready. Here we go. We've just entered the hot weather. That means crops will be even less effective to grow. So that's even worse now. And depending on your food, some foods are heavily affected by temperature. And they only do really well in like warmer temperatures or only do really well in cooler temperatures or kind of in the middle. So you do have to kind of research all the foods and then choose the foods that fit the biome that you're in, which is really interesting. Now we are getting closer and closer to these guys. Now it's a shame that we don't have anyone to go exploring because there's lots of lovely things here. A ruined settlement to explore. There's a bit of a poison forest, which we probably don't want to go to. Not now, at least. And another oasis. There's another ruined settlement over here hiding. A little regular forest where we could be finding water mushrooms. In each of these things, you have a chance of finding some good resources that you need. But you also have a chance of finding something very dangerous. So it is a bit of a risk when you send your villagers off to do some exploring. Right, here we go. So we've now got one person working as a carpenter and one person working as a stone cutter. So as they gather these resources, they can start making the stone slabs and the planks. And we're going to need that to build things. Like the kitchen here needs wood planks and wood stones. And we are, of course, we are going to want this kitchen. Where are we going to put it, though? That's the next question. Possibly... maybe we don't build this right here. Put the kitchen in this corner. And then we can put the pantry next to it, and that would be fine. Where's my pantry? Yeah, tuck it there. And then we've got a little bit of space here for a little road going up. There we go. Come around this way. Just encircle it like that. And make this village look super cute. Now, this is only the very beginning of our wandering village journey. It is adorable and so cute, and I hope that you enjoy it as much as I do. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and don't forget to subscribe for more wandering village content because I am jazzed about making YouTube videos on this game. It is one of my favorites, and I hope you love it just like I do. Right. We are out of video time though, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!